over the past couple, well, Jeff Van Gundy's been all right, but his brother Stan Van Gundy recently has been saying some rather odd stuff. And before I go ahead, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button as well. And if you are subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the notification bell because they ain't gonna tell you nothing on YouTube. They don't want my information going out or anybody else like me to go out because it defeats their narrative. But anyways, I keep it real. As much as these kids don't think I keep it real. But Stan Van Gundy's been saying some weird stuff lately. Um, didn't he just recently call Nikola Jokic the greatest center of all time or something like that? This this world. Oh my goodness, man. Anyways, um, former NBA coach and commentator Stan Van Gundy has made some interesting comments over the past few days. On Wednesday, he said on the Zach Lowe show that the Denver Nuggets superstar might be the best player. I'm pausing because what I just read, and you guys probably already know, was the most stupidest thing I ever seen in my life. This is not even an opinion. This is just somebody just being stupid. He said that Nikola Jokic might be the best player in the history of the NBA. Somebody who does. God. 2 days later, he added another comment that quickly went viral. During Friday's game between the New York Knicks and Milwaukee Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks debut on Amazon Prime, which I did not watch, the Amazon Prime analyst Taylor, no, told anchor Iron Eagle, I think there are only two guys in the league better than Josh Hart to coast are Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron James. I had Hart in New Orleans and didn't play him enough. One of the reasons I'm still sitting next to you. As much as I despise LeBron James, I do acknowledge his athleticism in his younger years because I was watching a video probably about a couple months ago, back in his first stint with Cleveland, and the way he can jump, the way how explosive he was in his younger years, it was crazy. Um, but to put Josh Hart in a category of LeBron James and Giannis when it comes to running up and down the court, being explosive behind those two is crazy. Um, I think I think what he is saying is probably in today's game. I hope that is what it means because if it's all players in the league and there's no, I know Westbrook is no longer in his prime, but when Westbrook in his prime, coast to coast, was almost at the same level as LeBron James. I hope he means right now with that statement. But I can't get over the Jokic statement. That's why I'm having a tough time believing anything he says. Josh Hart, yes, he hustles. I watched Josh Hart for the past couple years now. Him being on the Knicks, he hustles. Um, I guess Van Gundy coached the Pelicans for one season. That's the season the Bucks won the championship. We had Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Jackson Hayes, Steven Adams, Isaiah Thomas, and Zion Williamson. We probably didn't play that much this season. I'm not gonna get into why. They said this season so far, James and Antetokounmpo 7.7 for James, 6.5 for Antetokounmpo are ranked number 1 and 2 respectively in transition points per NBA stats. Hart is 2.2 points per game, is tied with Denver's Cam Johnson for 93rd. But even that statement is. This ain't the only dumb thing he said. Uh, he said something else goofy. And I gotta look for it right quick. Hold on, y'all. Here's what else he said stupid. So this headline says Stan Van Gundy believes the greatest players in NBA history must have come from the last 20 years. So the last 20 years will be 2005 to now. Continuation with his interview on the Zach Lowe show, he said the greatest players in NBA history mostly come from the last 20 years. He didn't hesitate or try to soften the blow. He argued that while older players should be respected for their dominating eras, many of the names of NBA's top 75 wouldn't even make the cut. I beg your pardon? Many of the names of the NBA's 75 team wouldn't even make the cut for the league in today's league. Van Gundy wasn't looking for shock value in his mind. This is just the natural arc of a. This is what he has to say. My son says this all the time about every sport. He's more of a baseball guy, right? He goes on, I understand the thought that you compare players to how well they did in the era they played in, but the evolution of athletes is where we probably can say that the best 20 basketball players in the NBA history have probably played in the last 20 years. Those other guys are great, but if you took them for what they were in their time and dropped them in today's game, a lot of those guys couldn't even get in the league. And I'm talking about some guys who are in the top 75 all time. I don't say to that to disparage people. We evolve over time. Athletes are getting better. How can you look at a sport like track or field and swim and see that times keep improving? Think our sport players don't continue to get better and better. He adds, athletes get better, training gets smarter, skill work becomes more advanced, nutrition, sleep science, analytics, and global talent pool have pushed the game into a different universe. And this article signs what he says because the article says this truth in that today's NBA is absurdly deep. Almost every rotation player can dribble, pass, and shoot. No, bigs like Nikola Jokic can run offense. Guards like Stephen Curry and Luka Doncic bend defense in ways no one could have imagined 30 years ago. Wings like Labaldi and Labaldi 2, Kevin Durant, and Giannis Antetokounmpo blend strength, versatility, and pace in a way that feels closer to evolution than progression. Floor spacing is wider, skill levels are higher, the game demands more. You know, I'm not going to read any more of this bullshit. You know what? I'm not even angry at this point. I'm not. I'm not angry. You know why I'm not angry? Because I know this is all BS. But the problem, if I do have some anger in me within me from reading this, it's the kids going to actually believe this. The fact that these guys, they keep saying these guys are bigger, faster, stronger, and they keep sitting out 60 games per season. Lie. Um, they contradict themselves. The fact that he said the players from the past would not make the cut for today's league. Oh my goodness. So he's saying Michael Jordan would not be able to play in today's league. Well, Chamberlain won't play in today's league. And I'm going to keep it on those two mainly. I know there's others that fit this criteria, but I'm going to keep it on those two. So Wilt that can bench 500 pounds, move like a locomotive. And there are video footage of Wilt Chamberlain refined footage of Wilt Chamberlain jumping to black people's shots off the backboard like crazy. I seen it. Wilt Chamberlain moved like a gazelle, powerful of a locomotive. And we all seen Jordan move like a gazelle out there too, with grace, explosion, especially in these younger years. But those two couldn't make the cut in today's league. Oh shit. I'll see you guys